Hey folks, it's Jim. Just going to go over little medical kits that I build. You can get this little case off of Amazon or probably eBay, several other places, I'm not sure, surplus stores or whatever. Between $6 and say $12 depending on what colors you want and all of that. But the first thing we have in here is my pen. Always have a writing utensil, right? Pen, pencil, whatever. This one just happens to have a little light on it. Not important, but it does. That way you can put it in your mouth and look at your patient and whatnot. It's pretty easy. But let's look inside the little kit and see what we've got in here. First thing is a surgical dressing, sterile. We want something we can apply that's sterile, right? Next thing is 40 grams of quick clot, right? And then we've got several tools here. Pick, needle driver, mosquito driver, forceps, more forceps. Then we've got tweezers, we've got, so you can thread your needles, and we've got a blade holder. And then back in this compartment, we have steri strips, followed by tincture of benzoin. I prefer it in the ampulates. This stuff is very tacky and sticky and messy. So if you're going to use tincture of benzoin in the field, make sure you get the ampulates. It makes it much easier to apply your steri strips. If you don't know what steri strips are, they're butterfly bandages, right? And then the tincture of benzoin with the applicator. Very simple. Next thing I have is 2 diaper pins. And I like diaper pins over safety pins. They're much stronger, they're curved to help us with bandaging and things like that. And that goes with your field bandanas, right? You should always have at least 2 bandanas on you at all times, right? For your medical kit, somewhere in your field kit, right? And then we have obviously little scissors, a blade, right? Alcohol swabs, antiseptic wipes and swabs, 2, 3, and 4-0 sutures with needles and our pins, and then you got another blade, and that's it. But that allows me in the field, if I'm not going to be able to be evac'd for quite some time, I can suture a wound or take care of any, pretty much a lot of major trauma or things of that nature. And the next thing is a SWAT tourniquet. This at all should be in everybody's EDC, in my opinion, or with any medical kit or anything like that. On me at all times within reach is a SWAT tourniquet. They are that important to me. Also, if you notice, this is blaze orange. It is not black. I don't do tactical anything for medical gear. That's utterly ridiculous. And especially a blood restricting device. Anything that restricts blood flow, you should have it blaze orange, period. So when you treat yourself and you pass out and I come upon you, I can tell exactly where treatment is required. If you're passed out and I can't talk to you and you've got a black thing on a black suit and it's the middle of the night, not a good thing. But if it's blaze orange, I can see it immediately, okay? And you don't have to be conscious for me to know where you got hit. Anyway, the next thing is any kind of, again, blood restricting device. So if you'll notice, always blaze orange. This is a basic combat tourniquet. This one is by Recon. And notice blaze orange, Recon Medical. I kind of like their gear. Some of their stuff is nice. And this particular tourniquet I really like. It's very similar to the combat one. It's just a little, it's the same width, it's just a little different, okay? So if you notice, that's all blaze orange, anything blood flow restricting. Next thing is a ace bandage like this. This one collapses on itself. You can see I've used this many times. And it's a great piece of gear, very durable and very strong. I can put a lot of pressure on a wound with this baby. So I like it. This is by Mueller. There are many things like it. And again, that's where your diaper pins come in. Should that Velcro fail, we've got diaper pins, don't we? Okay, you can get the cheaper ace bandages if you want, but hey, you get what you pay for in the end, right? And when it comes to putting pressure on a wound, well then, that becomes pretty important. Next thing I carry in my EDC is a hyphen vent. I've had to deal with sucking chest wounds and things of that nature. This is both for entry and exit wound. This is 2. Now, if you're not experienced with this stuff, you probably don't want to carry it. They are kind of pricey, so you probably don't want to carry it if you haven't been properly trained and experienced in the field, right? But for something to deal with a sucking chest wound, if we don't have our hyphen vent or anything like that, we can use a basic bag, right? This is a piece of plastic. I could cut it to size if I want, or fold it. Now I can place it over the wound. I can tape this down, wrap it, whatever I need to. The only thing we have to worry about with improvised dressings is now we have to release pressure in the chest cavity once that chest wound begins to build pressure, or our patient will die, right? So again, if you're not experienced and not properly trained, don't even really consider this stuff and get some training. That's just my recommendation. Another thing that I always like to carry is moleskin. Feet are your most important asset in the field. Without your feet, you're not going very far, and feet can also lead to some pretty bad infections due to blistering, things like that. People who aren't wearing proper footwear or haven't broken in their footwear properly. One of the worst things I see is somebody building their prepper gear with a brand new pair of boots sitting over by their bug out bag. Woe unto you. Good luck with that. You better break your boots in. They better be shaped to your foot. And if you don't know how to do that, I suggest you look it up and figure it out. It's not hard, but do not take a brand new pair of footwear into the field. Not a good idea. You're going to have blisters all over. This is one of the cheaper cravat bandages. Notice the weak little safety pins there, and that's why. Look at the difference between that and a diaper pin. Can you see the difference? Huge, isn't it? Big difference. What do you want? Something stout or something frail? You know, in transport, these things can get knocked off, come loose, the whole bit. Diaper pins, they're pretty sturdy. Anyway, that's just my experience. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to share. A lot of people use these aluminum splints, great things. Again, but I personally, I carry a little bit of this stuff just for awkward joint stabilization. But other than that, I carry a simple board like this in my pack at all times. It has a multitude of uses, right? But not only that, this is a perfect arm board for IVs, for splinting, both upper and lower extremities. And notice it's rounded, fits in my pack, adds stability to my pack, so on and so forth. If you can't find something like that, get a piece of lathing or a thin piece of wood, sand it down, cut it to size, however you want for you, and now you've got yourself a nice splint that goes in your pack, doesn't take up hardly any space at all, but a really useful tool out in the field. Also, as you know, you can make splints, improvise out in the field, but I prefer to have gear ready to go so I'm not searching around in a tense situation trying to find tools that I need. But anyway, that's just all extra gear that I put in. But this is, you know, a little simple kit you can build. You can buy all the components for it if you don't have it. I have tons of each one. These, you know, these are my little amplets of that stuff. I buy them by the 20s because I have them all the time, and I also show other people how to truly use this stuff. And, you know, like your steri strips, you should have a couple of boxes of these in your bug out gear, prepper gear, whatever. Butterfly wound closures, so you don't have to suture in a quick situation. You can just do that and be on your way. And always don't forget your gloves, right? Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Little simple kit. You can buy these tools online. Make sure you get well-reviewed tools, because your forceps you don't want weak, and you want them to be able to hold a needle, right? So your needle drivers, they need to be able to hold that needle. So make sure you look all that stuff up online. But a really simple little kit, isn't it? And, you know, packs down, really convenient, small, but yet packs a hell of a punch if you're ever stranded for a long period of time, or you're just not going to get help for a long period of time. Anyway, hope you're all doing well, and just a little medical kit that I build. And all the other stuff I just wanted to go over since I was doing a little medical kit today. But you saw how much was in the kit initially. Anyway, Jim out.